Welcome to Pure Energy Connections. I'm DJ Shirley, your host and founder of Pure Energy Connections. This is the show where we dive deep into natural wellness, energy healing, and the power of conscious living. If you're ready to detox your body, restore balance, and create a healthier, more vibrant life, you're in the right place. I'll be sharing practical tips to help you reduce environmental toxins, minimize electromagnetic smog, and replenish with unique essential minerals for energizing and detoxing at a cellular level. And it doesn't stop there. We'll also explore self-sufficiency through organic gardening, structured water, and regenerative living so you can heal while making a positive impact on the planet and for those around you. So if you're ready to boost your energy, detoxify, and find inner peace, let's get started. Tune in, transform, and thrive. Greetings. This is DJ, your host for Pure Energy Connections here at Transformation Talk Radio, the art of awakening in truth, wisdom, and inner healing. And this is where connecting in pure energy is health freedom. I'm the founder and creator of Pure Energy Connections and VI Meditation, with 30 plus years of shared methods for obtaining wellness, peace, prosperity, privacy and security and sustainability. And today I am thrilled to have Fred Foster on the show. He's introducing to us how to naturally restore the balance of human chemistry, helping the body to detoxify heavy metals, chemicals, and toxins all naturally, while electrifying and being rejuvenated at the cellular level. This is life-changing, folks. And this is not just for people, it's for our few little furry friends too, including our food gardens and much more. So today we'll discuss one of the most overlooked areas in wellness and healing. And I'm honored to have Fred on the show today, sharing his 13 years of experience. Fred obtained his BS degree from Eastern Michigan University as a mathematics major and physics minor, and then became a scientific and business computer programmer. And after retiring, this is the best part, Fred learned about this special, all-natural, bioavailable product, and it's even drastically changed his own life. And Fred is the president of Vitala for over 13 years and excited to share what is helping thousands of people today worldwide. Hi, Fred, and welcome.
Well, thank you, DJ. It is a real privilege to be here on this program with you. I have such interesting information to share with all of our guests tonight.
Oh, it's wonderful. Well, I would love for you to start off the story, how you were introduced to this and how it changed your life.
Well, actually, I was introduced to it when I was 65 years old. You know, that was actually 14 years ago, DJ. And I was severely crippled. I was so crippled I couldn't even pick up a pen or pencil. I couldn't make a fist. I had to get a signature stamp. I couldn't even raise my arms even shoulder high without being in terrific pain. And in order to get out of bed, I used to have to push myself over onto my side, then push myself to a sitting position on the edge of the bed, and then I could push myself up to a standing position where I could get my balance, and then eventually I could take some small steps. But when I walked, DJ, I looked like a crippled old man because I was severely crippled at age 65. What was crippling me? It was my arthritis. I had arthritis throughout my entire body, DJ, and I can really attribute that to when I was a little boy. And I used to like to go to the dumps, and I used to collect these thermometers, these big commercial thermometers, and break the bulb, and then I would play with the silver mercury. I'd roll them around in my hands like a ball bearing. It was so much fun. I had no idea I was poisoning my body. And so by the time I was 65 years old, I was severely crippled in pain 24 hours a day. So that's the condition I was in. And then I'm going to share with you shortly here how in less than 5 short days after finding this product, all those symptoms of arthritis was gone. And I was like 30 years younger. All of a sudden, I could do the things I hadn't been able to do in ages. But anyway, that's all to come.
That is amazing, Fred. And I'm so happy you're here today, looking wonderful. And so, well, let's go into what this product is and what it does.
All right. Well, you know, you asked how did I really discover them? Well, I was an executive. I was in charge of computers around the world for many, many years. And um, I had subscribed to some financial newsletters on the internet, and I was reading one day, and up popped this ad that said, if you would like to learn how to purify the most polluted water in the world, sign up for this water webinar. Well, I decided to do that. So I signed up for the water webinar because I have a river that runs through my property and I wanted to know how to purify it. So on that webinar, I saw this man pouring this liquid into this pond that was filthy, filthy polluted. You couldn't even see 2 inches below the surface. But to make a long story short, that liquid, after just a few hours, completely purified that pond. Now you could see 15, 20 feet down below the surface. But this is the part that really changed my life. What he did then, that man that poured the liquid in that pond, he dipped a clear glass mug into that pond water, held it up in front of the camera. It was crystal clear, and then he proceeded to drink it. Well, my land, back in 1976, my wife and I took our three sons out to Colorado on the 200th birthday of our nation, and we were camping in the Rockies. Even there was still snow on July 4th, and so my three sons wanted to drink some water from one of the rivulets that was forming from the melting snow up there on the top of the mountain. And I looked around and said, well, it looks like it might be okay. Well, it was a bad decision to make because they got really, really sick and it kind of ruined the next 3 days of our vacation. So
Mm.
that was the purpose why I wanted to learn how to purify my river water. Well, then what these people were saying on that webinar, uh, they were saying that people that had arthritis were experiencing tremendous, miraculous benefits by drinking water that had these minerals added to it. Well, I hadn't signed up for that to learn anything about my health. I just wanted to learn how to purify the water. So anyway, I signed up, and at the end of the program, they offered us a way to buy some minerals. So I bought some, and so and then that's where it really changed my life right after that. So the next few days, DJ, I have to tell you what happened.
Okay.
All right. Well, what happened was I actually hid those minerals in the back of my desk drawer because my wife is an RN. She works with the allopathic surgeons, and I didn't want her making fun of me. So I started adding these minerals to my drinking water in secret. I became a closet drinker of these minerals. But on my third day, DJ, on my third day, see these hands? I couldn't even make a fist with them. Now I can do it. They're completely pain-free on my third day. On my fourth day, remember I said I couldn't even raise my arms even shoulder high? On my
Yes.
fourth day, I could go way above I could do it. I could wash my back with a washcloth. I hadn't been able to do that, DJ, in ages. And then the fifth morning of drinking these minerals, instead of doing the three pushes to get out of bed, I just realized when I opened my eyes that I didn't have a single pain anywhere in my body. And instead of doing the three pushes, I just leaped out of bed. I started hopping up and down, jumping all over my bedroom, twisting my body every which way, DJ. To see if there's any pain, and it was gone. It was gone. And now it's been 14 years, DJ, and I've been drinking those same minerals, adding them to my drinking water for 14 years now, and I'll never stop because it completely revolutionized my life and gave me my youth back.
And I can see why you got involved with the company. Oh, that is amazing. And so tell us how these work, because I know they're very unique.
Well,
It's not like other products on the market.
that's true. They're not, and we've researched a lot of different things, and I uh, after I received my benefits, I started handing them out to my friends in church and my other friends that had health issues. I said, I don't know if these will help you with your health issues, but they certainly did help me. And so here's a bottle, and why don't you try them like I did? And now, DJ, I have thousands of stories, just miracle stories of the people that I've given these minerals to. And eventually I became a distributor, and I started traveling with the person that is in charge of all of North America for the distribution of these minerals for all of North America. And I learned so many things from him, and hopefully tonight we'll be able to share maybe two or three circumstances, stories of how when I gave these minerals to some of my friends or people, the tremendous benefits that they received as well. Some of
Well,
the other things that happened with me, DJ, is I used to have these floaters in my eyes, and the floaters went away. I used to have white spots all over my fingernails. Those all went away. I have very hard fingernails now. I'm the envy of the ladies. My fingernails are hard and smooth. And anyway, I used to have these marks on my hands that were liver marks, and they shrunk down to hardly anything anymore. So
mm.
there was a lot of things that happened with me. And that's why I gave these minerals out to a lot of people, a lot of friends. So
Well,
that's
Fred,
part of it.
yeah, Fred, explain to everybody how and why this hydrates so well and detoxifies the body.
Well, that is kind of the secret to why these things work so well. When you add these minerals to water, what it does is structures the water, some people call it structured water, some people call it living water, some people call it hexagonal water. Now, why hexagonal? Well, normal water has any H2O molecules that are all connected together in long strings or in big clusters, and there could be 32 or 64, 128 of the H2O molecules all attached to each other. And when they're attached like that in the water, you can't see it, but they're attached. It captures all kinds of toxins and poisons in that structure. And when you add these minerals to water, what it does is a process called agglutination. And when agglutination takes place, those large structures are broken apart into small structures of just six H2O molecules that are hooked together in a hexagonal format. That's why it's called hexagonal water. And and now all those toxins are freed up into that water, and now the next step that takes place is called flocculation. Now, because of the chemical process that is taking place in that water that you've added the minerals to, there's a chemical process that starts right away taking place. And those particles that have been released from captivity now flocculate together, they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then the chemical process takes place on them, and there's a chemical change that takes place. And those toxins are actually burned up, and they start to fall to the bottom in the form of ashes. And now those ashes that reach to the bottom of that jar that you had your water in, that you added the minerals to, what those ashes are completely inert. And if you swallow them, they'll just pass through your body. They won't harm you like the original chemicals or toxins did. And so that's kind of what happens to the water. Now, when you drink this water, it will get into your body, because remember, there's only six H2O molecules that are hooked together, just six instead of 128 or whatever there were. So it gets into the body 2 to 4 times faster. And once it's in the body, then it goes into the cells and so on. Now, normal water will only hydrate the body about 2 to 4%. But this mineral water hydrates the body at 32%. 32, instead of 2 to 4. Now, the scientists have invented, Gatorade to help hydrate the sports athletes, and that's only an 8% cellular hydration.
Mm.
Think of it like this, DJ. It's amazing. 32%. So anyway, when I first started drinking this water, I hated water. I didn't like to drink water. But then when I got these minerals, it tasted so good, and it satisfied my thirst, and 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 so I started craving this water, and I started drinking this water. So I've been drinking this water now for over 14 years, DJ. And when I
And
started drinking the water in the first 2 weeks, I lost 15 pounds. And
wow.
now, well, when I first started, I weighed 214 pounds. I weighed myself earlier this week. I was at 165. I mean, it's amazing what these minerals have done for me over the course of time and so on. Um,
Well, you've mentioned to me one time that it puts the body in a homeostasis. So that's definitely a balance that we all need to be in also. It helps with the immune system. And Fred, also, oh my gosh, there was a story you told me. I would love for you to tell our audience. It was about a chiropractor friend of yours.
Yes, yes. Dr. Smith, he was a chiropractor. He was a very prominent chiropractor, and he had a lot of different clinics. But what happened to him, he got Parkinson's disease. He got Parkinson's really bad. And one of my customers out west, knew this chiropractor. I didn't know him, but he called the chiropractor and he said, Doc, you should get in touch with Fred and try his minerals. So anyway, make a long story short, was in contact with him. I sent him the minerals, and I told him all three parts of the protocol, and I'll share what they are in a few minutes here with the DJ. But anyway, so he started on the three parts. On his fourth day, all signs of Parkinson's was gone. On his
That,
fourth day.
that's
Now,
amazing.
remember, on me, it was my fifth day when all my, things were gone. On his fourth day, it was gone. My wife and I, and another one of my distributors and his wife, the four of us went to meet with him and his wife. It was a 2-hour drive. They live in Michigan as well. That's where I'm from. And so we drove there and met him at a restaurant. And he came walking in the restaurant with no walker, with no cane, and so on, and just upright. And he told us how wonderful his life had become now in these 4 days since he had gotten rid of the Parkinson's problems. So,
Yeah, I love that story because so many people suffer with that. My father did too. So I wish I had this when my father was alive. But also, I know we're going to run out of time here. So can you tell everybody about the story that is about a friend of yours that has a child that had issues?
well, when I first got introduced to these minerals, I mentioned to you that the guy that was in charge of all mineral distribution for all of North America,
Hmm.
and I talked and we exchanged stories, and he invited me to travel with him. So anyway, I went and traveling with him, and one of the people that he called on was a doctor. She was a psychiatrist, and she had a 10-year-old son who had autism, and he had been autistic ever since he was a little baby. He had never talked. He would never play with toys, uh, and he would just rock back and forth. It was terrible trying to get him to sleep. And so, anyway, in talking with the doctor, and we told him about the three-part protocol, and she decided, well, I want to try my son on that three-part protocol. So she did. So on the seventh day that he was on that protocol, he stopped rocking. And he went to sleep for the first time very easily that night on the seventh day. On the
Yes.
10th day, she heard this strange sound coming out of his bedroom. So she got up early in the morning, got up and opened this door to his bedroom. And there he was on the floor playing with these toys that he had never touched in his life before. He's now 10 years old, never touched these toys. Got all brand new toys. He wouldn't touch them. Now he was on the floor playing with these toys, and when she opened the door, he looked up at her. He looked her straight in the eye. He had never looked her in the eye before. Looked her straight in the eye, and he said, "Hi, Mom." That was on his 10th day. All the signs of autism was gone in 10 days. It was amazing. And since then, I have a lot of autistic um, children that have received tremendous benefit from these minerals.
And
So
you
that's
have
kind of a quick story there of that.
yeah, and you have also, I think you mentioned, I can't remember completely, but it was a doctor that was working a lot with cancer patients too.
Well, the doctor that developed the three-part protocol, he was a medical doctor,
Hmm.
and he has brought over 50,000 cancer patients to complete remission. And I have as well through using the three-part protocol that he developed as a doctor. And he taught that to us. And so that's what I've been teaching and using. I have many, many stories of cancer patients that got complete remission from their cancer. A lot of different ones. Yes.
And those also that were even using chemotherapy, it made their journey easier too, I think you said.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I I have a lot of stories about that, chemotherapy or whatever. And
Hmm.
sometime I hope we have enough time to share some of those stories. They're really fantastic. But another one of my real close friends had sugar diabetes, and he had type 2 sugar diabetes. And when he pricked his fingers, he was in the 600 range. Can you believe that? 600. He was on 3 prescription meds for his diabetes, and he was my assistant treasurer. And so I had to go work on the books with him one night. And it was actually 1 week after I received my healing, got rid of all my arthritis. And I went over to his house and I said, Harry, I don't know if these minerals could help you or not. I honestly don't know. I've only been on them for a week, but they've done wonders for me. I brought some with me, and I thought maybe if you'd like to try them, I'll give you some and see what happens. And he says, well, are there any drugs involved with it? And I said, no, no, it's all natural. It comes from the earth. And I should share with you too how these minerals are made in the earth, how they are all natural, DJ. But anyway, he said, okay, I'll try them. Well, the very next day, it went from 600 down to the 190s. And from that, went down to 170s the next day. And the following day, went down to 150s. The following day, 135. The following day, 115. Following day, 98. And the following day, on the seventh day, it went down to 87. In 1 week, down to 87. And when he went back, because he had to go back to his doctor, because you have to go every 3 months, get your blood work done. So he went back to his doctor, and the doctor said, if you're having any problem with that third medication that we prescribed for you, I'll take you off it because I'm getting a lot of complaints from my patients. And so he said to the doctor, he said, well, doc, quite honestly, I haven't taken any of these three meds for over 5 weeks now. And the doctor said, what? Are you crazy? You have to. Don't you realize it's a matter of life and death for you? Mm-hmm. And he said, well, doc, you've got a lab right here. Draw my blood. Test it yourself. So the doctor did, came back and said, this is impossible. How can it go from 600 down to 87 in less than 3 months? What did you do? Well, he wouldn't tell him. He didn't want to share with him. So the doctor said, well, whatever it is you're doing, keep doing it because I consider this to be a miracle. And
that's amazing.
It had been down at 87 for, 10, 12 years, so anyway.
Oh my gosh.
That's another story. I have hundreds of stories.
Yes. And you've tested a lot of other products too that are similar and nothing has done what this product has done.
No, this is a very unique product. And, a lot of people can buy what they call trace minerals out of their health food store, but our minerals are completely natural. They come from the volcanic regions in the earth. They come from deep in the earth. And how they were discovered by this atomic scientist that actually was looking for a way to remove the radioactive isotopes out of the water. And he stumbled upon these minerals. And lo and behold, these minerals did indeed do that. They took the radioactive isotopes out of the water and purified that water. And so he invented some special machinery to duplicate the process that takes place deep in the earth. And also, he searched all over the earth for the very richest form of what we make these minerals from. And he found it. And then he patented the process of extracting those minerals and converting them into our mineral product. And so now he has these two patents. And when Chernobyl took place, the Russian government called him and said, hey, we need you to come over here and help clean up our water around Chernobyl, which he did. They were so amazed, they offered him $400 million. $400 million if he would give them those two patents. He said, no, I wasn't smart enough to figure that out. It was God and his angels that led me to this. And so this was a gift to all of humankind, all living things. So I'm not going to grant you that, but I'll get you as many minerals as you want.
Right. Exactly. Well, Fred, we're almost at the end of the show. We're going to have you back. There is so much more to share because this product does so much more. So, oh my gosh. Well, thank you for sharing all your passions with us, Fred. I can see how passionate you are. Let's plan to have you back so you can tell us more. And all the other uses, which I know I use your product. I absolutely love your product. And thanks everyone for being here with us today. Enjoy the discount too on your purchase because at VitalaUSA.com, you can use the code PEC at checkout. And we do have a lucky winner today for a free product. We'll get that right out to you. And also, if you have any questions that weren't answered here, be sure to contact customer support at VitalaUSA.com. And check out our future wellness shows and giveaways also. You can also search Pure Energy Connections on YouTube channel for replays and see us at Transformation Talk Radio every third Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So make it a wonderful day, Fred. Thank you. And bye for now. Thanks for tuning in to Pure Energy Connections. I hope you found this show inspiring and motivating to help you live your healthiest life. Together, we can all make a positive impact on the planet and help others. Visit our future shows every third Wednesday, and if you'd like to connect with me and learn more about how you can take action today, visit pureenergyconnections.com. I look forward to helping you transform and thrive.